to present initial scientific findings surrounding the object now known as the Buga sphere, a mysterious flying sphere recovered in the town of Buga, Colombia.
Something strange just fell from the sky in Booga, Colombia. And even Elon Musk's I can't stop talking about it. A shiny metallic sphere crashed into a field, left no burn marks, and somehow keeps getting heavier without changing size.
Here they are. There are two very important things at the core. One thing is the darker brown part, and the other is the purple part.
Scientists are baffled, and what's inside might not be human. Initial scientific analysis. When scientists began studying the strange metal sphere that crashed in Buga, Colombia, they thought it was just space junk or part of an old satellite. But once they looked closer, they realized this was something far more unusual. The outer shell was made of 95% pure aluminum. That might sound simple, but it's not. Pure aluminum almost never appears in nature. It usually takes high-tech machines and modern factories to make it. Yet, this sphere wasn't made by any known method on Earth. The few other elements mixed in didn't match any known industrial alloy. The structure looked smooth and perfect, as if it was built by technology far beyond ours. Tests in several labs confirmed the next big surprise. The sphere's metal didn't share the same chemical pattern as metals from Earth. Its isotope levels were slightly different, meaning it likely came from outside our planet. Scientists had to admit it, this object was non-terrestrial. Then came the most unbelievable part. Around parts of the sphere, researchers found a thin layer of hardened resin. When they tested it, the results were shocking. The resin was 12,560 years old. That means it existed long before the pyramids, long before Stonehenge, and long before any known civilization. At that time in history, humans were still using stone tools and living in small tribes. There were no cities, no metal smelting, and certainly no way to make something like this. Still, the results were the same every time they tested it. The resin truly came from that ancient period. Even stranger, this resin wasn't like any natural material on Earth. It looked organic, maybe plant-based, but it could resist fire, acid, and heat without damage. It seemed to act as a shield, protecting the metal inside. Whatever made it to last. Scientists tried to stay calm, writing reports, collecting data, and comparing notes, but deep down, everyone felt it. This find didn't fit into any history book. The object was old, advanced, and completely out of place. It was as if someone, or something, had left behind a piece of technology from another world, thousands of years before humans were ready to understand it. But the resin was only the first clue. What scientists found inside the sphere would be even harder to believe. Internal structure revealed. Once the outer surface of the Buga sphere was mapped and tested, scientists turned their attention to what might be hidden inside. Physical tools couldn't cut or scratch it. The metal resisted every drill, laser, and chemical test. So, researchers moved to advanced, non-invasive scanning methods. They used X-ray imaging, CT scans, and even quantum AI modeling to peek inside the sphere without opening it. What they saw stunned everyone in the room. Inside the 30-centimeter orb were three perfectly round shells, each nested inside the other like Russian dolls. Each shell had a flawless surface, with no hinges, seams, or visible connections. The alignment was so precise that even atomic-level scans showed no gaps or overlaps. It was a level of craftsmanship beyond anything human technology has achieved. Between the second and third shell floated 9 tiny microspheres. Each one was perfectly shaped, smooth, and identical in size, no larger than a grain of rice. The strangest part was that they didn't seem to touch anything. There were no wires, no supports, and no magnetic fields holding them in place. They simply hovered, locked in perfect balance, as if obeying laws of physics we don't yet understand. At the very center of the sphere sat something even more mysterious, a grain-shaped crystal chip. It was small, translucent, and emitted a faint internal glow when exposed to certain light frequencies. Quantum scans revealed a highly complex internal pattern, resembling a neural network or data lattice. Some scientists speculated it could be a storage unit, possibly containing encoded information or energy. Others believed it might be a control core, the heart of the entire object. When sound waves were directed at the sphere, something incredible happened. It began to resonate, producing a deep rhythmic tone at a frequency no known material should emit. The tone wasn't random. It carried structured patterns, almost like a repeating signal or code. Despite all efforts, the sphere's construction remained impenetrable. No tool could open it, no laser could cut it, and no chemical could melt it. It stood untouched, unbreakable, and eerily alive with silent energy. The Booga sphere wasn't just a relic. It was a machine, still functioning, waiting for something or someone to understand its purpose. The team thought the internal design was impossible. Then they looked closer at the markings on the surface and realized something was written there. Quantum A, I analysis. After studying the Booga sphere's shape and structure, scientists began noticing tiny marks on its shiny surface. At first glance, the metal looked completely smooth, but under special lights and strong magnification, they saw fine geometric lines covering parts of the sphere. These designs were delicate and perfectly arranged, as if they had been carved with extreme precision. The patterns repeated in ways that felt intentional. Spirals, straight lines, triangles, and gentle waves forming a rhythm across the metal. Experts in ancient writing tried to make sense of it, hoping it was some forgotten script. But there were no spaces, no repeated letters, and no signs of any known language. Instead, the markings seemed to follow mathematical balance and symmetry, like something written in the language of numbers rather than words. Mathematicians stepped in and noticed something special. The curves followed natural ratios found in physics and geometry, shapes connected to the golden ratio and to circular motion seen in planets and atoms. The team began to think these marks could be mathematical expressions describing how energy or structure behaves. To understand them, scientists used tools far beyond normal computers. They turned to quantum artificial intelligence, linking the power of IBM's Condor and Google's Sycamore, two of the most advanced quantum computers ever built. These machines can process many possibilities at once, making them ideal for spotting hidden patterns. Quantum A. I scanned every curve and line, building a three-dimensional model of the markings. It tested billions of combinations, searching for rhythm and meaning. After weeks of continuous processing, the system detected repeating energy patterns. These weren't random shapes. They formed a sequence that behaved like a waveform, a kind of vibration frozen in metal. When scientists turned that pattern into sound data, it created deep, echoing tones, the same ones the sphere had released during earlier resonance tests. The sound carried structure, rising and falling in a steady, repeating pulse, almost like music with purpose. By the end of the analysis, the team realized that every line and curve on the Booga sphere was part of a single system, an organized design that blended art, math, and energy. The engravings weren't decoration. They were a code written in pure geometry, crafted by intelligence that understood the universe in ways far beyond human reach. The patterns formed a code, but a code for what? When the AI translated the first layer, scientists couldn't believe their eyes. Universal constants. When the quantum AI finished mapping the markings on the Booga sphere, it uncovered something incredible. The first layer of the code, once translated into numbers, contained a set of universal constants, the fundamental values that describe how the universe works. These weren't rough estimates or approximations. They were written with unbelievable precision, far beyond what human science can currently achieve. The first constant identified was Planck's constant, a value used to describe how energy moves at the smallest possible scale. It was written with 15 decimal places of accuracy, more exact than any measurement ever recorded by human instruments. That kind of precision would normally require technology more advanced than anything we have today. Next came the golden ratio, a number that appears everywhere in nature, in shells, flowers, galaxies, and even DNA. The way it was placed in the code showed intention, as if the sphere's creator understood beauty and balance, not just as ideas, but as physical laws. The AI then uncovered the fine structure constant, the mysterious number that controls how light and matter interact. Its value in the code matched the true constant to extreme precision, beyond current lab capabilities. That alone proved the engravings weren't random art. They represented knowledge of the universe at a level that no known civilization could have reached thousands of years ago. Another section of the pattern encoded the speed of light, exact down to multiple decimal places. The symbol for it wasn't written as a number, but as a spiral wave pattern that quantum AI later converted into pure data. And just beneath that, embedded deeper in the geometric layout, was a formula matching the gravitational constant, which defines how mass attracts other mass. Each of these values appeared with accuracy far sharper than any human tool could measure. Even the smallest difference in a decimal could change how the universe is modeled, yet the sphere's data was flawless. The key insight from this layer was simple, but mind-shifting. Whoever designed this object understood the universe better than we do today. The engravings on the Booga sphere weren't just mathematical art. They were a precise map of reality itself, carved in metal long before humans learned to measure it. These numbers proved someone understood the universe long before humans did. But the second layer held something even stranger. Sounds from across the galaxy. Gravitational wave signatures. When scientists reached the second layer of the Booga sphere's code, they found something that felt alive with motion. The smooth metal lines turned out to be frequency patterns, waves that looked like sound, frozen in time. At first, the team thought they were random, but when the data was translated into audio form, a deep, echoing rhythm filled the room. The sound waves were not just any signals. They were a perfect match to the gravitational waves detected by LIGO in the year 2015, when two giant black holes collided far across the universe. Every rise and fall in the pattern was identical, matching the real event with flawless precision. Somehow, the same wave signature from that ancient collision was recorded on the sphere long before humans had the means to detect it. When the audio was played back, the sound was a deep, distant hum that pulsed like the heartbeat of the cosmos. The energy patterns showed the force of stars folding into darkness and space bending around them. The data was exact, detailed, and pure, a record of an event that happened billions of years ago. As the research continued, the AI uncovered even more hidden sounds. Within the same layer were frequency lines that matched the orbital harmonics of Jupiter's moons and the vibrations inside Saturn's rings. The tones blended into one another like a song, rising and falling in beautiful rhythm. The sphere seemed to carry the music of the planets, the natural rhythm of motion that fills our solar system. Then came another surprise. Some of the wave patterns matched the orbital cycles of recently discovered exoplanets, worlds far beyond our reach, only confirmed by modern telescopes in the last few years. The Booga sphere already contained those same patterns, marked with perfect accuracy. The scientists realized they were looking at a kind of cosmic library. Every pulse, every vibration told the story of the universe. Black hole collisions, planetary orbits, and distant worlds circling their suns. The second layer was a map, written in sound. showing that the sphere held the memory of the cosmos itself, a quiet record of space and time waiting to be understood. The sphere had recorded the music of the cosmos. But why? The answer came when scientists realized it wasn't just listening, it was responding. The sphere as a device. After months of careful study, the scientists began to realize that the Booga sphere was not just an old object from space. It behaved like a working device, reacting to sound, movement, and even light. Dr. Sarah Chen, one of the lead physicists on the team, described it in simple words. It acts like the operating system of space-time. During experiments, the sphere showed clear signs of response. When scientists sent sound waves or small bursts of energy toward it, the sphere started to vibrate softly. The vibrations were not random. They followed exact mathematical patterns, rising and falling in rhythm with the frequency sent to it. The higher the tone, the stronger the vibration became. It seemed to take in sound and amplify it, sending it back through the air like a perfect echo. This is why the team began calling it a cosmic tuning fork. Just as a tuning fork creates a pure musical note, the Booga sphere responded to the natural frequencies that exist throughout the universe, the hum of gravity, the rhythm of light, and the quiet waves that move through space. It didn't only store information about these things, it seemed to contain their structure, as if the building blocks of reality were written into it. When the team ran more tests, they noticed something unusual around the sphere. Magnetic fields shifted slightly. Air molecules near it began to move in patterns, and clocks placed close to it started ticking a tiny bit slower. The changes were small but real, suggesting that the sphere was somehow interacting with time and energy. The vibrations matched the same constants found in the earlier decoded layers: the golden ratio, the speed of light, and the gravitational wave patterns. It was as though those numbers were keys that allowed the sphere to come alive. Dr. Chen and her team finally reached a bold idea. The sphere was not just a container of knowledge, it was an active part of the universe, a device built to communicate with the laws that shape existence. When it vibrated, it seemed to sing the same song as the cosmos itself, calm, perfect, and endlessly connected to everything around it. The sphere was alive in ways no one expected, and when they pushed it further, reality itself began to bend. Simulation results. When scientists ran the first full-scale simulations of the Booga sphere, the results didn't just surprise them. They broke the rules of known physics. The sphere behaved in ways that no metal object should. Every new test revealed another mystery, pushing the limits of what science could explain. The simulations began with the sphere's electromagnetic properties. Using controlled light beams and energy pulses, researchers discovered that the surface acted like a metamaterial cloak. It could bend light around itself, making parts of the sphere appear invisible from certain angles. The AI analysis suggested that its outer shell worked as a photonic processor, guiding light and energy through invisible channels within the metal. Inside, the 9 tiny microspheres weren't placed randomly. Their positions followed the golden ratio and the Fibonacci sequence, natural patterns that appear in everything from plants to galaxies. This perfect mathematical spacing allowed the sphere to amplify standing waves, stable waves of energy that stayed in balance without fading. Each resonance test showed the same effect. The object acted as both a receiver and transmitter, pulling in electromagnetic signals and releasing them again in precise rhythm. But the strangest part came next. During deeper simulations, sensors picked up tiny gravitational changes around the sphere. Space itself seemed to bend and shift at a microscopic level, something that should be impossible for an object made mostly of aluminum. These distortions weren't random. They pulsed in sync with the frequencies the team had used earlier. It was as if the sphere was reshaping its surroundings to match those vibrations. At first, the changes were small, too small to notice without sensitive instruments. But over time, the readings grew stronger. Clocks placed near the sphere began to lose microseconds, and laser paths slightly curved, as if the flow of spacetime had been altered. The scientists double-checked every variable, but the data stayed consistent. The sphere was creating local spacetime bending, a phenomenon usually linked to immense cosmic forces, like black holes, not a 30-centimeter piece of metal. Out of caution, the team decided to pause all live experiments. The risks were too high, and the effects were too unpredictable. For the first time, the researchers realized they weren't just studying an artifact. They were interacting with something that could rewrite the laws of physics themselves. Physics was breaking down around the sphere. Then Dr. Park found something hidden in the markings, a map pointing to the stars. Stellar coordinates discovery. As testing continued, astrophysicist Dr. Lisa Park made a discovery that shifted the entire direction of the research. While most scientists focused on the sphere's energy and resonance, Dr. Park studied the faint lines carved beneath the main patterns. She noticed that some of the symbols didn't follow mathematical logic or frequency patterns. Instead, they formed spatial alignments, almost like a network of points connected by curved paths. Using advanced sky mapping software, Dr. Park began comparing the patterns with known stellar coordinates. The match came quickly. Several points aligned perfectly with the sources of fast radio bursts, or FRBS, mysterious high-energy signals that astronomers detect from deep space. Each burst has a unique coordinate, and the markings on the Booga sphere matched those positions exactly. The deeper she looked, the more connections appeared. Every spiral and intersecting curve corresponded to real stars or pulsars scattered across the Milky Way. The design looked less like random art and more like a map of space. One particular cluster of lines pointed to a region between the Andromeda and Triangulum galaxies, an area that current telescopes show as mostly empty. Yet the precision of the coordinates suggested that something, perhaps a hidden system or object, existed there. Dr. Park proposed that the sphere was functioning as a galactic GPS system, a kind of navigation device that used pulsars and radio bursts as markers. Pulsars are known for their steady, repeating signals, often used by scientists as cosmic clocks. The sphere seemed to recognize those same patterns, weaving them together to form a three-dimensional map of interstellar space. When the data was converted into holographic form, the room filled with glowing lines and moving points of light. It looked like a living star chart, constantly updating and shifting as if reacting to the current universe rather than a static moment in time. The precision of the coordinates amazed the entire team. The sphere contained knowledge of stars and radio sources discovered by humans only within the last few years. It knew where everything was, not just in our galaxy, but beyond. The Booga sphere wasn't just a recorder of cosmic events, it was a navigator of the universe, quietly pointing toward a destination still unknown to humanity. The sphere knew where everything was in space. But the biggest shock came when researchers looked into Earth's past and found it wasn't alone. Historical and cultural context. As scientists worked to understand the Booga sphere, historians started searching through old myths and ancient records for anything similar. What they found was surprising. Across many different cultures, there were stories of metallic or glowing spheres that came from the sky, objects that people believed were gifts or messages from the gods. In ancient Egypt, old temple writings described eggs from the gods. These eggs were said to fall from the heavens, glowing with light and impossible to open or destroy. Priests believed they carried the power of creation and the balance between heaven and earth. Paintings showed them floating above kings during rituals, surrounded by rays of light. To the ancient people, these orbs were sacred, something far beyond human understanding. In Sumerian legends, thousands of years old, there were also stories of divine spheres. The texts spoke of shining objects that the gods used to travel between the stars. They were said to hum softly and glow even in darkness. Some writings mention that these spheres could speak without sound, sharing knowledge directly with chosen humans. These old tales, once thought to be myths, sounded strangely similar to the modern reports about the Booga sphere. Researchers began to wonder if ancient people might have actually seen similar objects in their time. Without science or technology, they could have only described them as gifts from higher beings. The same shape, the same glow, and the same sense of mystery appeared again and again in records from Egypt, Sumer, India, and even Central America. Then, in July of 2025, something remarkable happened. A second metallic sphere was found near the coast of Tokyo, Japan. It was almost the same size as the Buga sphere and had the same strange markings. Early tests showed it gave off low vibrations that matched the first sphere exactly. The discovery quickly gained the attention of NASA and the United States Department of Energy. Teams from both countries began working with Japanese scientists to study the new find. With two spheres now confirmed, the mystery grew deeper. The stories from ancient times might not have been fantasy after all. Humanity may have been meeting these strange visitors from the stars for much longer than anyone ever imagined. Ancient people had seen these spheres before, and now, with two confirmed, scientists faced a new question. What could humanity do with this power? Implications and potential applications. The study of the Booga sphere has changed how many scientists see the universe. What first looked like a simple metal ball might hold the key to huge discoveries that could change life on Earth. Every new test reveals something strange and something useful. Researchers believe the sphere might explain things that have confused science for years. Its strange energy readings seem to connect to dark matter and dark energy, the invisible forces that make up most of the universe, but can't be seen or touched. The way the sphere bends, gravity and light, could also help unlock the secret of quantum gravity, the missing link between the biggest and smallest laws of physics. If scientists can understand it, they could finally connect Einstein's theories with quantum science, something humans have tried to do for over a century. The sphere may also be using energy from the vacuum of space, the empty areas that still hold invisible energy. This idea, once only a dream, could lead to machines that never need fuel. If humans learn how to copy that process, it could end the world's energy crisis forever. Clean, endless power could be made anywhere, without pollution or waste. Even more surprising are the tests showing how the sphere can bend small parts of space. Scientists believe this could lead to new kinds of engines that fold space instead of pushing through it. That means future spacecraft might travel across galaxies faster than light without using rockets. What was once science fiction could one day become real. Doctors and engineers are studying another strange effect. The sphere's energy waves can scan through solid objects without harming them. This has inspired a new idea for medical scanning that could see deep inside the body, even before a sickness begins. It could change how diseases are found and treated, saving countless lives. If these ideas work, the results could be life-changing. Energy could become free and clean. Space travel could become normal. Hospitals could prevent illness instead of fighting it. The Booga sphere may not just be a mystery from the stars. It could be the key to a brighter, more advanced future for all of humanity. The possibilities seemed endless. Free energy, faster than light travel, cures for every disease. But some scientists weren't celebrating. They were afraid. Concerns and warnings. While the Booga sphere has opened doors to incredible scientific discoveries, it has also created deep concern among experts. Every new test seems to reveal something powerful and something dangerous. The sphere does not act like any known material, and its energy reactions are unpredictable. Scientists are worried that fully activating it could trigger effects no one can control or even understand. Some tests have already shown signs of space-time distortion, small bends in gravity that ripple out like invisible waves. These distortions might seem tiny, but physicists warn that if they grow stronger, they could cause a cascading effect, a chain reaction that spreads through the surrounding area, or even further. It's not just about energy or light anymore. It's about how the sphere might interact with the structure of reality itself. Theoretical physicist Dr. Michio Kaku gave a chilling interpretation. After studying the resonance patterns and coded symbols, he suggested that the sphere may not be broken or incomplete at all. Instead, it might be waiting for a reply, as if it was designed to listen or respond to something. If that is true, activating it could send a signal across the galaxy, one that might reach whoever or whatever created it. This idea has divided the scientific community. Some believe the discovery was meant to happen, as if the sphere was placed on Earth for humans to find when they were ready to understand it. Others fear it was found by accident, long before humanity has the knowledge or technology to handle it safely. There is also the growing fear that humans might miss a key piece of the puzzle. The sphere's design is far beyond anything known on Earth, and a small mistake in decoding or activating it could cause irreversible effects. Even small frequency changes have produced strange reactions, lights bending, time sensors misreading, and magnetic fields pulsing out of rhythm. For now, world governments have limited experiments involving the Booga sphere. Research continues, but under heavy security and with extreme caution. The message is clear. The sphere may hold the key to the universe, or the power to break it. The Booga sphere has changed everything we thought we knew about science, history, and the universe itself. But its true purpose still hides beneath layers of mystery. Is it a message, a machine, or something even greater? Stay tuned, because this story is only beginning, and what comes next might change our world forever.